It's game number 36 of the 2017 Xenia Scouts season as the Scouts are back at home tonight here at Grady's Field. They will welcome the Hamilton Joes for a 7:05 first pitch on this Tuesday evening. Gabe Genovesi here with you alongside my partner Andrew Alix on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We will bring you all of the action tonight. The Scouts come into tonight's contest 15-20 on the year, riding that 5-game losing streak. Going into the All-Star break, the Scouts were 15-15, only 2 games out of a playoff spot. And now with 6 games to go, the Scouts 5 games out of a playoff spot, nearly mathematically eliminated. They will take on the Hamilton Joes, however, tonight. And the Joes are actually a little bit worse than the Xenia Scouts. The Joes are 11-23 on the season. They are mathematically eliminated, only 6 games left. They are 7.5 games back of a playoff spot. The Scouts are 4-2 against the Hamilton Joes this year. The only team in the Southern Division the Scouts have a winning record against, and Xenia will try to end a 5-game losing streak tonight and try to finish out this final week strong here in the summer of 2017. To bring you the lineups tonight as they get announced here at Grady's Field, the Hamilton Joes will bat first. Riley Dent, Genesis Hillard, and Eric Santiago, the 1-2-3 hitters tonight for the Joes. Dent playing center field, Hillard the DH, Santiago the shortstop, Nigel Williams in the cleanup spot playing third base, Frank Dixon batting 5th, playing first. Trey Turner in the 6-hole playing left field tonight. Jake Murray playing second in the 7-hole. Mason Deanna behind the plate tonight for the Hamilton Joes. He'll bat 8th. And Ryan McClellan playing right field tonight rounds it out for the Hamilton Joes. And now, as we are moments away from the prayer and the national anthem here at Grady's Field, I am going to pause before I get into the Scouts defensive alignment. I don't want to start that up and then have it get interrupted by the prayer and the national anthem. I can tell you Zach Wallace is on the mound tonight for the Xenia Scouts. Wallace has faced the Joes 1 time thus far this year, and I will give you those numbers when we come back. We will be right back. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Back here at Grady's field, the Scouts have taken the field. The Joes are ready to go as well after the prayer and the national anthem here at Grady's. I gave you the Joes starting lineup. I'll give you the Scouts around the diamond. Joey Roddy at third base, Aaron Takis and Ange Bourgeois in the middle infield at short and second, respectively. Kyle Cashley at first base, Donald Ring behind the plate tonight for the Scouts. Jordan Lambert in left field, Francisco Andina in center field, and Dylan Lottenville in right field tonight for Xenia. And as previously mentioned, Zach Wallace, the pitcher on the mound for the Xenia Scouts. Wallace, a 4.95 ERA in 8 appearances this year for Xenia. An 0-3 record in those 8 appearances. Opponents bat .272 against Zach Wallace. The total numbers, 32 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 34 hits, so a little over a hit an inning. 22 runs, only 18 of them have been earned on Wallace. 10 walks, 24 strikeouts for Zach Wallace, so that is a very positive number if you're a Scout fan. And a 1.35 whip, walks plus hits per innings pitched. So Wallace gives up a little over a base runner an inning. And it'll be Riley Dent who steps to the plate first for the Hamilton Joes. A wonderful night for baseball here in Xenia, Ohio. Mid-70s, sunny. No chance of rain here on this Tuesday night as we got a lot of rain last week. It made for some humid games. The Scouts going 0-5 last week as Wallace delivers first pitch to Dent. Flared, shallow left field. Takis going back, makes the grab at shortstop. 1 down here in the first. 1 pitch, 1 out for Zach Wallace. That's the start he was looking for, and that'll bring up Genesis Hillard. But going back to last week, an 0-5 week for the Xenia Scouts. And quite frankly, the biggest week of the season. I know every week seems like a bigger week, but you come in after the All-Star break, you're 15-15 as Wallace sets. First pitch to Genesis Hillard. Curveball outside corner, strike 1. You come in 15-15. You're 2 games out of a playoff spot despite only being 500 because the Southern Division is so tight. Now the 0-1 to Hillard. Fastball high, 1-1. And the Scouts drop all 3 to the Southern Ohio Copperheads. They then drop both games to the Richmond Jazz, all of them here at home. The 1-1 from Wallace. Inside, 2-1. Genesis Hillard, a .224 hitter, bats from the right side. And that really killed the Xenia Scouts season. 5 games out of a playoff spot now with just 6 to go. 2-1 from Wallace. Off speed at the knees, 2-2. And that's all it took. The Scouts are pretty much mathematically eliminated. There's like one scenario that's very, very slim possibility that would get them in the playoffs. The 2-2, swung on, grounded foul down the first baseline, will stay at 2-2. And I just being really honest, that was just me and my friend Andrew to my left, just going through all the possible scenarios, and we got one that was possible for the Scouts to tie as the 2-2 from Wallace. Lined foul down the third baseline will stay at 2-2. And the reason I say that we aren't mathematically eliminated yet is that tie possibility. And we're not even sure we would have the tiebreaker in that tie possibility. So the Scouts could very well be mathematically eliminated. The 2-2 from Wallace. Curveball fouled off. Will stay at 2-2. Genesis Hillard, the designated hitter tonight for the Hamilton Joes. 15 hits on the year, a double, a triple, and 2 home runs are for those 15 hits. Waving the bat above his back shoulder, Wallace sets. The 2-2. Curveball fouled off once again. Genesis Hillard just staying in this count. Staying in this at-bat, I should say, keeping the count even at 2-2. Wallace, we know throughout the year, a very slow working pitcher. The 2-2 pitch, low in the turf, 3-2, of course, an all turf field here at Grady's Field. Infield, outfield, everything. It's all turf. Wallace takes the sign from his catcher Ring. The 3-2 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. A long battle between Hillard and Wallace, but Zach Wallace comes away victorious. 2 down here in the first. Wallace gets his first strikeout of the evening, and that'll bring up Eric Santiago for the Hamilton Joes. Santiago, a .271 hitter on the year. He leads the team in hits with 32. First pitch. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 1. And the average isn't the highest on the team just because obviously the amount of at-bats everybody has. Santiago with 118 on the year, so he is an everyday player for these Joes. The 0-1. Curveball once again swung on and missed, 0-2. That is the most at-bats in the lineup tonight for the Joes. Most guys tonight at least around that 70 to 80 at-bat range. Wallace sets the 0-2 delivery. Fastball fouled off behind the Hamilton Joe dugout down the first base line. We'll stay at 0-2. Wallace, a guy who's not going to rush anything on the mound. Will always take his time. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball blooped into left field. That ball lands fair. Fair ball. Santiago rounding for 2. The throw from Lambert is in time. Jordan Lambert throws out Santiago heading for second. Lambert pumps his fist as he heads back into the dugout. That will be a single for Santiago in the book, but he gets thrown out at second, and that'll do it for the Joes here in the first inning. What a throw from Jordan Lambert to get Santiago into the single into a double. Half an inning through, no score between the Joes and the Scouts. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the bottom half of the first infield. Zach Wallace holds the Hamilton Joes scoreless in the top half of the first. Now the Scouts will try to strike first here in the home half of the first inning. Ange Bourgeois, Aaron Takis, and Jordan Lambert, the 1-2-3 hitters tonight for Xenia. They'll face Matthew Zabo on the mound for the Joes. Zabo has had success against these Scouts before this season. In game 1 of a doubleheader on July 12th, Zabo pitched 7 innings scoreless in a 6-0 Hamilton Joes win. Bourgeois bats from the left side. First pitch from Zabo. Fastball just off the outside corner, 1-0. Zabo on the year, a 3.37 ERA, 3-1 in 8 appearances for the Joes. Opponents only bat .212 as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed, 1-1. Opponents only bat .212 against Matthew Zabo. The ERA, the 3 wins, and the .212 batting average against, all leads the Joes team. The pitch, outside, 2-1. Zabo, 24 innings pitched on the year. He's given up 18 hits, 9 earned runs. The big number, 9 walks, 30 strikeouts. The 2-1. Catches the inside corner, count even at 2-2 to Ange Bourgeois. And a 1.13 whip, walks plus hits per innings pitched for Zabo, also leads the Joes team. The 2-2. Line towards second. The second baseman Murray fields it on a hop. 1 down here in the first. A good play by Jake Murray to field that one hopper cleanly. And there's 1 down here in the bottom half of the first inning, and that'll bring up Aaron Takis for the Xenia Scouts. That doubleheader on July 12th, Zabo did pitch game 1 and get the win. The Scouts bounced back with a 6-2 win, a masterful performance from Caleb Bly in game number 2. The Scouts on the season against the Joes are 4-2 against Hamilton. First pitch to Aaron Takis. Fastball high and away, 1-0. The Joes are the only team the Scouts have a winning record against in the Southern Division at 4-2. Now the 1-0. Fastball below the knees, 2-0. The Scouts have outscored the Joes 44-40 this season, leading to their 4-2 record. Now the 2-0 pitch from Zabo to Takis. Low and away, 3-0. Aaron Takis, who's drawn 14 walks on the year, is way ahead in the count. Takis settles in from the left side. The 3-0 pitch. Inside corner, strike 1. Takis, a .290 hitter on the year, 3rd on the team in hits with 27. 3rd on the team in on-base percentage as well with a .376 on-base percentage. The 3-1. Lined foul right behind home plate. 3-2 the count. Around the diamond for the Hamilton Joes, Nigel Williams at the hot corner, Eric Santiago at shortstop, Jake Murray at second base, Frank Dixon playing first tonight, Mason Deanna, the catcher behind the plate, catching Matthew Zabo. The 3-2 to Takis. Lined foul right toward the Xenia Scouts dugout. Oh, Jordan Lambert had to get out of the way on the on-deck circle. Nice little quick move there from Lambert. Laughing back toward the Scouts dugout as he knows he just dodged a bullet there. Now the 3-2 from Zabo. Low turf, ball 4. Aaron Takis is on for the first time today. 1 on with 1 out for Jordan Lambert and the Scouts here in the first inning. No score between the Hamilton Joes and the Xenia Scouts here in the home half of the first. Jordan Lambert, one of the most dangerous hitter, if not the most dangerous hitter on the Xenia Scouts team, leads the team in hits with 37, 2nd in batting average with a .294 average. He bats from the left side. First pitch. Misses low and in, 1-0. Lambert, 5 doubles and a homer on the year as well. No shift on for the lefty Lambert. Middle infield and double play depth for the Joes. Takis with a decent size lead over at first. He's going to go. Lambert swings and misses. The throw down to second. Takis beat it. He steals second, his 6th stolen base of the year that ties him for second with Francisco Andina on the team in stolen bases. And Jordan Lambert's got a duck on the pond with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Zabo, the 6'2 righty from Bowling Green. The 1-1 pitch. Inside, almost hit Lambert in the foot. Lambert gets out of the way, 2-1. Lambert, who's had a good past few games. Last game against the Jazz ended his 7-game hit streak. He's 10 for 27 with 4 RBIs over his past 7 games. The 10 for 27 mark for Jordan Lambert is a clip of 370. He waves his bat above his back shoulder. The 2-1. Line foul right behind the Xenia Scouts dugout down the third base line. Count even at 2-2. Zabo quickly gets back on the rubber, takes a look at Takis at second. Now sets. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses high and away, 3-2 to Jordan Lambert. And the Scouts' problem all throughout the season has been offense. If you've been with us the whole year, you are well aware of that. The Scouts last in the league in batting average and runs scored. The 3-2 to Lambert. Dribbler down the third base line. It'll roll foul and will stay at 3-2. And now Lambert walking back toward the dugout. I think he broke his bat. I think he's going to switch out his bat. Kyle Casserly laughing at him as he walks back to the dugout. And that's exactly what happened. That pitch jammed Lambert on the hands. And the count will stay at 3-2. The Scouts, a .232 batting average is last in the league. They score 4.6 runs a game. That's last in the league. They're last in hits as well with 7.3 hits a game. And that's been the struggle for the Xenia Scouts as Zabo steps off the rubber. Now he steps back on. Lambert awaits. Takis leads off second. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled off behind the plate, out of play. Will stay at 3-2. The one positive offensive number for the Scouts is walks. They're fourth in the league in walks. They average just over 5 walks a game. And the on-base percentage because of it, as the 3-2 to Lambert. Curveball misses high and away. Lambert walks the second walk in a row for the Xenia Scouts. Runners on first and second, 1 down. And Matthew Zabo, who had only walked 9 batters all year, coming into this one, walks 2 of the first 3. And that'll bring up Kyle Casserly for the Scouts. So because of the walks, the Scouts on base percentage is .348. That is 12th out of 15 teams in this Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. As Casserly steps to the plate, he'll bat from the left side. First pitch to Cass. Fastball fouled off behind the plate, 0-1. Casserly, a .261 hitter on the air, second on the team in hits with 31. First on the team in doubles with 10. Aaron Takis stands on second. Lambert on first after a couple of walks. 1 down here in the home half of the first inning. No score between the Hamilton Joes and the Xenia Scouts. Zabo sets the 0-1. Inside corner, strike 2. Casserly doesn't like the call. He thought it was a little low and in. And he's behind in the count 0-2. Casserly has a hit in 7 of his last 9 games. Has reached base in 14 of his last 15. He's been hot. The 0-2 pitch. Lined foul down the left field line. It'll go out of play right behind the Scouts bullpen and will stay at 0-2. Casserly against the Joes this season, 2 for 13 with 5 walks. So he struggled hitting, but he has found ways on base. The pitch. Grounded foul down the first base line and will stay at 0-2. Might have clipped Cass's shoe. Not limping at all, though. Casserly, the redshirt junior from Wright State, did not play last year with the Raiders because of a transfer from West Virginia. The 0-2 pitch. Runners going. Casserly grounds one back up the middle off the glove of the pitcher Zabo, and Casserly is safe. That'll probably be marked as an error on Matthew Zabo, the pitcher. But the bases are loaded for the Xenia Scouts here in the bottom of the first, and Donald Ring walks to the plate. And no, they're going to mark that as an infield hit for Kyle Casserly. I thought it might be an error because it hit the middle of Zabo's glove and just bounced out, and Casserly beat it out. It didn't hit off the top and trickle toward the second baseman. It landed right in front of Zabo, and he just struggled throwing it. First pitch to Ring. Blooped left field, shallow left field. That ball is caught by the left fielder, Trey Turner, and not deep enough for Aaron Takis to advance home. 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Bases still loaded for the Scouts as Chris Ackerman walks to the plate. And the speed of Trey Turner out in left field, who according to his Arizona State bio runs a 4.38 40 time. Helped him catch that ball on a shallow blooper out in left. And that'll bring up Chris Ackerman, who has been struggling as of late, to say the least. Zabo from the windup, first pitch. Curveball outside corner, strike 1. Ackerman is 1 for 23 with 5 walks over his last 7 games. His average has dropped to $1.97 on the year. The 0-1 misses low, 1-1 to Chris Ackerman. In the DH spot tonight is Ackerman. Bases loaded, 2 down for the Scouts. No score between the Hamilton Joes and the Xenia Scouts here in the bottom of the first. The 1-1 from Zabo. Curveball chopped toward the left side. Santiago at short picks it up. Fires across the diamond, and that'll do it for the Scouts here in the first inning. The Scouts threaten. They leave the bases loaded on 1 hit, but they cannot get any runs, and that'll do it for Xenia. We head to the second inning. No score between the Joes and the Scouts. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. No score between the Xenia Scouts and the Hamilton Joes as we head to the top of the second inning. Zach Wallace back out on the mound for Xenia. He'll face the 4, 5, 6 hitters, Nigel Williams, Frank Dixon, and Trey Turner here in the second. Nigel Williams will bat from the right side, a 286 hitter on the year. 20 for 70 from the plate. 8 of the 20 hits for Williams are doubles. That is first on the Hamilton Joe team. First pitch. Curveball inside corner, strike 1. Williams has been on fire as of late for the Joes. He has 6 multi-hit games on the year. 4 of them are in the last 7 games. The 0-1 chopped up the middle. Takis makes the play at short, throws to first. They got him. 1 down here in the second.
Well, Zach Wallace has been very efficient to start this game off, and for Wallace, a guy that we saw pitch so tremendously against the Lima Locos in his last outing. Don't know if you mentioned that yet. I assume that you probably did in the pregame show, but Wallace, we've seen better pitching from him here in the late stretch of the season. Hopefully it can continue here against the Joes.
And that'll bring up Frank Dixon for Hamilton. First pitch to Dixon, outside corner, strike 1. And shamefully, I did not mention that performance against the Locos. I mentioned his...
Oh, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus then.
I mentioned
I guess you got to save some stuff for me.
I mentioned his performance against the Joes as the 0-1 to Dixon misses low, 1-1, where he pitched pretty good. Back on June 15th, at the very beginning of the season, the Scouts lost that game 11-6, but Wallace pitched 3 2/3, only gave up 1 run on 3 hits.
Yeah, that was a big one because the Scouts had, I believe, fallen behind in that game by a score of 9-0 in the first.
The pitch to Dixon outside, 2-1. They did. It was 9-0 after Jorge Lozano gave up 9 runs in a third of an inning. And bullpen had to do work for the Scouts that night, and they gave him a chance in that game.
Yeah, the comeback was there. Unfortunately, just couldn't finish the job.
The 2-1. Outside corner, strike 2. 2-2 to Frank Dixon. A 289 hitter on the year. Dixon is actually listed as a pitcher for the Hamilton Joes. Plays both ways, however. 13 for 45 on the season. The 2-2 pitch to the lefty Dixon. Low and away. Count full at 3-2. Dixon, this is his 14th game with an at-bat. One of them is against the Scouts. He's 1 for 5 with an RBI against Xenia. He does have a hit in 10 of those 13 games. The 3-2. Ground ball back up the middle. Takis dives. It goes off the edge of his glove. Trickles into center field. And Frank Dixon now has a hit in 11 of 14 games this year.
Second hit there against Zach Wallace. Not the hardest hit ball in the world. We still haven't seen anything really roped out there into the outfield. But unfortunately for the Scouts, that ball just in the one spot that Takis couldn't get to on his feet. And just like that, 1 on and 2 and 1 away here.
Trey Turner steps to the plate. He bats from the right side. Wallace throws over to first. Dixon back safely. Turner, a .269 hitter on the season. 25 hits, 5 doubles, 3 triples, and 2 home runs. So 10 extra base hits for Trey Turner. First pitch. Curveball popped up on the infield. Casserly settling under it at first. He catches it and tags the runner, Dixon, out. I don't know if Dixon thought there were 2 outs or thought that ball was going down the line. He probably thought there were 2 outs. He realized it when he was about halfway to second and had to retreat quickly. And Casserly, who caught that ball even with the bag, just tagged Dixon in a nice little 3 unassisted double play.
Three unassisted. I don't know how you write that, but nonetheless, 2.
That'll be it.
A great way to end the inning.
Yeah, that will be it for the Joes in the second inning. Zach Wallace has thrown 2 scoreless. No score. We head to the home half. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. No score between the Xenia Scouts and the Hamilton Joes as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. The Scouts bring up Joey Roddy, Dylan Lottenville, and Francisco Andina, the 7-8-9 hitters here in the home half of the second. Xenia bases loaded, 1 out in the first inning. They could not get anyone across. Still no score here at Grady's Field. First pitch from Matthew Zabo to Joey Roddy. Curveball misses low and away, 1-0. Roddy only batting a .6, 15 for 93 from the plate to be exact. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Roddy, only one of those 15 hits. It was a double. He bats from the 1-1 pitch. Off behind the plate, 1-2. And we've talked about this before with Joey Roddy, a redshirt freshman at Ohio State, so that redshirt year last year, not seeing live collegiate pitching all season as the 1-2 pitch, curveball misses high at the chin, 2-2. It can be tough to get back in the groove. For
Roddy, he's definitely made the adjustment. Still not the best hitter on the team by any means, but I'd take Joey Roddy today over Joey Roddy in June any day of the week.
2-2 inside, ball 3. Roddy batting 174 over his past 7 games. Does have 5 RBIs, though. He has come through in a couple big spots, including 2 sacrifice flies to score runs. The 3-2 to Roddy. Inside, it actually hits him on the front elbow. Roddy throws the bat back to the dugout and will jog down. And my apologies, that actually got him high on the leg near the hip. I thought it was his elbow, but he's having some real struggles walking down to first base.
He is really limping over there. Now he's at first base. He's gonna. It almost looks like he's like having a hard time putting weight on the left.
It's
leg.
like he's trying to shake out the leg, and he can't shake it out. He's really struggling.
Do you think? I mean, I didn't see it, but did it hit his kneecap?
I thought it hit him higher on the leg around the hip, because I thought it hit his front elbow because he kind of tossed the bat and started to grab what I thought was his elbow, but maybe he was grabbing his hip.
Yeah, they'll call the trainers out here. Because Roddy, I mean, he's just shaking, kind of trying to stretch it out, but looks like he's having a tough time.
And you can tell, obviously, he doesn't want to come out of this game. He's trying to get up and shake it off. And assistant coach Ross Yoder down there at first base telling Roddy to just take a knee, and he finally does. Well, now he's going to get up and walk, of course.
Yeah, no. Well, he's a gamer. You know, he is not the kind of guy that would voluntarily sit out of any game.
Joey Roddy this season hadn't been hit. Excuse me. He had been hit by one pitch this year, so his second hit by pitch of the season. Whether it's Roddy or a pinch runner, the Scouts are going to have the leadoff runner aboard here in the second.
Well, how do you make a defensive substitution at this point? Like, what can you do? Ben Beachy can't play. If he has to come out, what do you do? That's a good point. Ben Beachy out with a knee injury tonight. He has been out the past week or so. And I don't know what other infielders are available for the Scouts. Ryan Park's not playing tonight. He's a catcher. Can Ackerman play a corner infield spot? What you'd probably have to do is you'd have to move Ring from catcher to first, make Ackerman the catcher, move Bourgeois. But no, it still doesn't work. I don't know what we would do. The Scouts. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I can't think of it. I mean, they would obviously figure something out. The Scouts sitting tonight are Ryan Park, Ben Beachy with an injury, Caden Owens, who can't hit, so he can't play the outfield. Yeah, obviously, manager Bubba Cates would figure something out, but I mean, like there are players that. And someone would like, we're not going to forfeit the game. Someone's going to play, but there's no logical explanation as to how you'd fix that. The trainer's still out with Roddy, talking to him. Bubba Cates now out there as well with Ross Yoder at first base, checking on the Ohio State Buckeye. Dylan Lottenville will be at the plate for the Scouts, as Matthew Zabo now throwing a couple warm-up pitches just to stay loose as they check on Roddy. And Joey Roddy is going to, I believe, come out of this game. And see, this is why I'm confused. Now, head athletic trainer Zach Taw is holding Roddy's arm, and he seems to be walking okay. I mean, that might just be to alleviate pressure. Looks like Ryan Park is going to come in wearing number 8. Ryan Park will come in to pinch run, as Andrew just said. And Bubba Cates out talking to the umpire now, making the changes. Pretty long delay here. But a situation that ultimately very confusing for the people that, I mean, it's just kind of hard to tell what just happened, but we will see how defensively things shake out after this. So Ryan Park running at first, Dylan Lottenville to the plate. He'll bat from the right side against the righty Matthew Zabo. Lottenville taps the outside part of the plate, now waves the bat above his back shoulder.
The first pitch swung on, blooped into shallow center field. That ball is caught by the shortstop, Santiago. The throw back over to first, and they got Ryan Park. They doubled him up. Ryan Park thinking that ball was going to land in shallow center field. 2 down here in the second.
Yeah, that one just hung in the air for a little bit longer than Ryan Park had anticipated. And what looked off the bat like Dylan Lottendale was going to find himself a blue pit, just like I said, hanging in the air for a little too long. The shortstop, Santiago, is there, and Ryan Park's a sitting duck a couple feet away from second base. Just not enough time to get back.
Now Francisco Andina swings and misses at a fastball up high, 0-1. Andina, a 167 hitter this summer. The average was at 205 before the All-Star break, and ever since we've come back from the All-Star break in those 5 games, as he takes a pitch on the inside, 1-1. Andina is 0 for 20 with 1 walk, and he has not been able to find his groove since the 3-day break, as the 1-1 pitch comes in at the knee, strike 2.
Yeah, I believe his last hit was that double down the first base line against the Locos in that 9th inning comeback victory.
The 1-2 pitch to Andina, swing and a miss on a curveball low. Andina is now 0 for his last 21. Matthew Zabo catches a break on the double play. He then gets his first strikeout of the evening on Francisco Andina. No score through 2 here at Grady's Field. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the third here at Grady's Field. No score between the Xenia Scouts and the Hamilton Joes. Zach Wallace back out for his 3rd inning of work for the Scouts. He'll face the 7, 8, 9 hitters Jake Murray, Mason Deanna, and Ryan McClelland. First pitch, Jake Murray. Murray lays down a bunt, foul. Right behind the plate, 0-1.
And this will be interesting to see if the Joes are going to try to take advantage of Donald Ring, who's now playing third base out of position here.
Ring moves to third with the Joey Roddy injury. Ryan Park comes in to catch where Donald Ring was. The 0-1. Fastball misses outside, 1-1 to Jake Murray. Murray batting a $178 on the season, 13 for 73 as he bats from the left side. The 1-1 pitch. Curveball misses high and away, 2-1. Murray playing second base tonight for the Hamilton Joes. Wallace sets. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses high and away, 3-1. Jake Murray, only 2 multi-hit games this year, and he has struggled to say the least in his last 7. 1 for 19. The 3-1 pitch popped up out of play, foul territory, 3-2. Jake Murray, only 1 RBI in his last 18 games. He has 6 on the year. Wallace takes the sign from the new catcher, Ryan Park. The 3-2 misses low and away. Zach Wallace issues his first walk of the evening. Leadoff runner on here in the third for the Joes.
And hopefully for Wallace, this is a sign of things to come. We have seen with him in the past a couple, second time through the lineup, or about 4 or 5 innings in, his stuff will start to deteriorate a little bit. We didn't see it in his last outing against the Locos, so hopefully, 1 walk, no big deal.
Mason Deanna now to the plate. He bats from the right side against the righty Wallace. Deanna, a .276 hitter on the year. Wallace throws over to first. Murray dives back safely. Deanna, the junior from Cincinnati. Wallace throws over once again. Murray easily back safely. Deanna in his sophomore campaign with the Bearcats. Only 6 for 31 from the plate, a 194 average. He's had a good summer for the Joes thus far. The pitch. Inside, chop toward third. Ring fields it on a hop. Fires to second for 1. Over to first, they doubled him up. A 5-4-3 double play. The second double play of the game for the Scouts. 2 down here in the third.
And that's an interesting debut at the hot corner there for Donald Ring. Gets a hard ground ball over towards him, but no problem for the Donald. He has played all kinds of positions in his Xenia Scouts career. I can tell you that much. We've seen him in left field, first base, behind the dish, and so far so good at third base.
Now Ryan McClellan to the plate. First pitch. Grounded toward first. Past the diving glove of Kyle Casterly. A 2-out single for Ryan McClellan.
And that one just a hard hit ball down that right field line. Casterly extends everything, but unfortunately just the ball goes right under him at the end of the day, and that one just rolls into right field, a base hit.
And that'll bring back up the top of the order for the Joes and Riley Dent. Dent flew out to the shortstop Takis, his first time up to lead off the game. That was actually first pitch of the game. 1 pitch, 1 out for Zach Wallace. And now Dent will look to keep the inning going for the Joes here in the third. No score between Xenia and Hamilton. Dent settles in from the left side. And Wallace throws over to first. McClellan easily back safely. Riley Dent, 4 multi-hit games on the year. First pitch, low and away, ball 1. Dent is batting .278 in his last 7 games, 5 for 18 with 3 walks. So he's reached in 8 of his last 21, so an on-base percentage of a little over .333. Wallace throws over to first once again. I'm not sure what he's seeing over there with Ryan McClellan, who doesn't have too big of a lead.
Might just be trying to gas him, making him keep going back and forth.
That pitch misses outside, 2-0 to Riley Dent. Dent playing center field tonight for the Hamilton Joes. Wallace taking his time, finally sets. The 2-0 misses low and away, 3-0 to Riley Dent.
And you do not want to put this guy on for free with the heart of this Hamilton Joes order coming up.
Dent, a .253 hitter on the year, only 1 extra base hit and a double. That pitch misses way low. It gets past Park. McClellan not a speed threat to go first to third. So he'll stop at second. Runners on first and second, 2 down for the Joes here in the third.
And that's a bit of an issue here for Zach Wallace. We're starting to see a pattern here in the top of the third. A walk, a single, and another walk. So of the 4 batters he's faced, he has put on 3 of them. Got a couple outs on that 5-4-3 double play, but it's imperative here that he retires Genesis Hillard.
Hillard struck out his first time up in the first inning, the only victim of Zach Wallace this evening. Wallace sets the pitch. Curveball misses inside, 1-0. Zach Wallace just can't seem to find his spots here in the third inning. 2 outs, top of the third. No score between the Joes and the Scouts. 2 on, 2 out for Hamilton, the 1-0 to Hillard. Misses low, 2-0. Zach Wallace really starting to struggle out there on the mound.
Yeah, we'll see what his pitch count's at here in just a second. Trying to pull that number. Can't be too high.
2 quick innings to begin the game. He had faced the minimum in the first 2. He'd allowed 2 hits, but still faced the minimum because Eric Santiago singled in the first, tried to extend it to a double, and got thrown out by Jordan Lambert. And then a double play by Trey Turner ended the second inning. Wallace takes a deep breath and sets the 2-0. Ground ball, fair ball down the third baseline. 1 run will score. The runner from first, Riley Dent, coming all the way around third. He will score as well. A 2 RBI double for Genesis Hillard. Only his second double of the year, and it's 2-0 Joes here in the third.
And that one just a rocket down the left field line, and hard to tell at this point if a more experienced third baseman would be able to make that play. My indication is probably unlikely. That ball just tiptoed down the line, but when you tiptoe down the line at that speed and get past it, suddenly fair ball, and that's going all the way into the deepest part of the park on that left field corner. Gives Hillard all the time in the world to get around to second. So just like that, a 2-0 lead here for the Hamilton Joes.
First pitch now to Eric Santiago. Curveball, strike 1 at the knees. So after getting the beautiful 5-4-3 double play, 2 outs, nobody on for the Joes, they get 2 runs. And it seems like we've seen that so many times throughout the past couple weeks, Andrew.
Yeah, a lot of 2-out rallies by the opposition here against the Scouts during this losing streak.
The 0-1 pitch. Curveball popped up left field. Lambert going back on the warning track makes the grab. And that'll do it for the Joes here in the third inning. They get a couple of runs on a couple of hits, and they leave 1 left on. 2-0 Hamilton. We head to the home half of the third. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. A 2-0 Hamilton Joes lead over the Xenia Scouts as we head to the home half of the third inning. Ange Bourgeois, Aaron Takis, and Jordan Lambert, the top of the order 1-2-3 hitters for the Scouts, will lead it off in the home half of the third inning. Matthew Zabo back out for his third inning of work. He's pitched 2 scoreless innings, only giving up 1 hit thus far. However, he has walked 2 batters and hit Joey Roddy as well, so Zabo hasn't exactly been smooth through 2. First pitch to Bourgeois, swung on and missed, 0-1. The Scouts had the bases loaded in the bottom half of the first inning with 1 out and couldn't bring anyone home. Donald Ring flew out to left. Ackerman grounded out to the shortstop. The 0-1. Off speed, outside corner, strike 2. Bourgeois quickly behind in the count, 0-2.
And for Bourgeois, the strikeout was an issue in the beginning of the season. He's actually had better plate discipline towards this latter part, but a couple of strikeouts in last game.
The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Fastball high. Bourgeois went around, 1 away here in the third.
And for Bourgeois, that's strikeout number 23 of the year. So even though 15 of them coming in that first part of the season, a tough one for Ange Bourgeois. That's just the second strikeout of the day for the Hamilton Joes.
Yeah, Bourgeois had only struck out 4 times in his last 15 games. He goes down swinging here to lead off the third, and that'll bring up Aaron Takis for the Scouts. First pitch to Takis. Curveball at the knees, strike 1. Takis walked his first time up. The on-base percentage continues to go higher for Aaron Takis. Came into tonight with a 376 on-base percentage. Now he swings through a fastball, 0-2, quickly the count. Takis has reached base in 23 of the 28 games he's played in the 2-pitch. Chopped back toward the mound. Zabo fields it on a hop, fires over to first, 2 away here in the third.
And a very easy 2 outs here in the home half of the third for the Hamilton pitcher, Matthew Zabo. It'll be interesting to see here if the Scouts have any rally here, or if they're just going to go down at the minimum for the second time in as many innings.
And Jordan Lambert steps up, trying to avoid just that. First pitch to Lambert. Fastball grounded left side. Past the glove of the shortstop, Santiago. Base hit into center field. 1 on with 2 down for the Scouts here in the third.
And possibly a good sign. Jordan Lambert usually brings a lot of the action all on the same day, and 2 for 2 to start things off here in the third inning. So Kyle Casserly, another guy who singled his last time up with an opportunity to keep this inning going.
Lambert has reached base both times. He walked in the first. Now he singles here in the third, and that'll bring up Kyle Casserly, who also had an infield single his first time up. First pitch. Fastball skied high into left field. That ball carrying, and the right fielder McClellan becomes a spectator. 2-0 here in the bottom. 2-2 here in the bottom of the third. The Scouts even it up here in the home half of the third inning. Kyle Casserly's second home run of the year.
And look at that, Gabe, the little rally that we were looking for. A couple of guys in Jordan Lambert and Kyle Casserly that have been playing great. And finally, one of the Scouts gets their second home run of the year. Chris Ackerman, the only other Scout with 2 home runs. A lot of guys sitting at 1 bomb on the year, but Casserly finally gets that second one on the board. And we're all tied up at 2 here in the home half of the third.
And steps down on Ring. For the Scouts, he takes a ball low below the knees, 1-0. Ring 0 for 1 today. He flew out to the left fielder Turner his first time up. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed, 1-1. Ring, that was just a little flare out into left field. The speedy Turner came on and caught. He bats from the left side, the 1-1 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. Got Ring there, 1-2.
And Donald Ring going fishing there, so he's behind in the count. Let's see if he can protect the plate here and work this count a little bit here against Matthew Zabo.
The 1-2 pitch, way outside, 2-2. A good block as that ball hit the turf by Mason Deanna. Ring steps out, takes a deep breath, hitting .225 on the year. The 2-2 pitch. Right down the heart of the plate, strike 3. A little maybe cut fastball there. Gets Ring backing away from the plate. And that'll do it for the Scouts here in the third inning. Zabo gets his third strikeout of the evening, but not before Kyle Casserly hits a 2-run bomb to even up this game at 2 as we head to the fourth. Andrew Alix will have the play-by-play for the 4th, 5th, and 6th. As we head to the 4th, all tied up, you're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
We go into the top of the 4th inning here. Andrew Alix alongside Gabe Genovesi, the Scouts, and the Hamilton Joes all tied up at 2. And it's going to be Zach Wallace coming up for his second inning of work. He'll face the 4, 5, and 6 spots in this Hamilton Joe's order. The batter leading things off, Nigel Williams. First pitch to him, hit on the ground, hard liner left field side. That one's going to roll to the wall. Williams is rounding first and heading for second. The throw to second will not get there. Standing at second with a leadoff double is Nigel Williams. That's the second double of the game allowed here by Zach Wallace, and a runner in scoring position here with nobody out for the Hamilton Joes. So just as the Scouts respond with the two-run home run from Kyle Casserly in the home half of the third, an extra base hit to get things going here for the Hamilton Joes as well. It's going to bring Frank Dixon to the plate, a runner at second here, nobody out in the top of the fourth. First pitch to Frank Dixon. Curveball outside part of the plate, called strike one. Frank Dixon, the first baseman from Arizona State. He's 1 for 1 on the day. A .289 hitter, 5 doubles, 7 RBIs on the year. He bats from the left side here against the southpaw, or against the righty, Zach Wallace. Wallace looks back to second. Now he delivers, or now he steps off. Wow. So Zach Wallace looks back the lead runner, Nigel Williams, over at first, or over at second. Woo. Now Wallace looks to Ryan Park and delivers. Breaking ball outside part of the plate. Same pitch, second time in a row that time. Finds the zone. A called strike on the outside part of the plate. And Zach Wallace ahead of this count. 0-2. Frank Dixon, the guy at the plate. Well, he does a little bit on the mound as well. Has been one of the more effective guys for this Hamilton Joe's ball club. 0-2 pitch to him. Way upstairs, and that's going to go over the head of Ryan Park. Nigel Williams will stroll over to third base, and now the go-ahead run for the Hamilton Joes stands at third with nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Probably not the start that Zach Wallace was looking for. Dixon, 2 for 6 this season at the plate against the Scouts. The 1-2 pitch outside, 2-2. Arizona State, of course, big-time baseball program in the Pac-12 Conference. Notable alumni. Well, let's start with the all-time home run king in baseball, Barry Bonds. 2-2 pitch. And that one's hit in the air in left field. Going back is Jordan Lambert. He'll pull up, make the grab. Out number one, tagging from third is going to be Nigel Williams. He will slide in safely, beats the throw. A sacrifice fly off the bat of Frank Dixon gives the Hamilton Joes a 3-2 lead here in the top of the fourth. So just as the Scouts responded to the 2 spot in the top of the third with a 2 spot of their own, the Hamilton Joes quickly back on the board with a sacrifice fly following a double and an advance on the pass ball. So nobody on here and 1 out. The batter's Trey Turner. First pitch, Turner shows bunt but pulls back. That one misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. Trey Turner, the left fielder from Arizona State as well. A .269 hitter, 5 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs, and 20 RBIs on the year. He awaits the 1-0 pitch from Wallace. Wallace delivers. Curveball, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike goes the count. Turner originally went to Arizona State as a 2-sport athlete, was playing baseball and football. But according to the Hamilton Joes broadcaster, his football career has come to a close. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and Zach Wallace now ahead of the count 1-2. But let's talk about how he was as a football player. ESPN had listed him as a 4-star prospect and the number 25 running back in the country coming out of high school, a 4.38 40-yard dash. So clearly a tough choice between baseball and football for him, but 1-2 pitch, and that one swung on and missed strike 3. Just the second strikeout of the day for Zach Wallace, but a big second out here in the top of the fourth. And now Zach Wallace is going to have to retire Jake Murray to try to limit the damage here in the top of the fourth to just 1. Jake Murray, well, he hasn't recorded an official at-bat on the day. He walked his first time up. Murray, one of the returning guys for these Hamilton Joes. 1-6 RBIs. First pitch to him, fastball low in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Murray from the University of Cincinnati at Claremont. He bats from the left side here against the righty Zach Wallace. 1 ball and no strikes to count. The pitch. Curveball inside part of the plate, a called strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 away here in the top of the fourth. The Joes now leading the Scouts by a score of 3-2. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, foul, first base side. Strike number 2, and Wallace now ahead in the count of ball and 2 strikes. Murray, 5 for 15 with 3 RBIs against the Scouts this season. That's in 4 games played against Xenia. Just 1 for 19 in his last 7 games. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. The count goes 2-2. And Murray, one of the guys who, you see kind of the natural choice to be in this Great Lakes League, a native of Cincinnati, Ohio, a Cincinnati Claremont guy, but of course the battery for the Scouts is quite the opposite. A couple of California guys with Zach Wallace and Ryan Park. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and fouled straight back into the plate, and we'll stay at 2-2. But of course, that's kind of the draw of the Scouts, and that's what separates the Scouts from the other teams in this league. Like if you look around the diamond, you got a couple of California guys at the pitcher and catching spot. Ange Bourgeois from Salt Lake City. Aaron Takis from Florida. Tennessee with Jordan Lambert. You do get your fair share of local Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, so on and so forth, but the Scouts definitely have the most players from nowhere near here of any team. 2-2, in the air, high sky fly ball. Third base side calling off. The third baseman is the shortstop, Aaron Takis. He makes the grab for out number 3. So 1 run on 1 hit and nobody left aboard for the Hamilton Joes in the top of the 4th inning. We have reached the middle of the 4th inning. The Joes lead the Scouts by a score of 3-2. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We go into the bottom of the 4th inning here. The Scouts now trailing the Hamilton Joes by a score of 3-2. Chris Ackerman to lead things off. First pitch to him. Fastball, check swing. Did he go? Appeal to the field umpire said yes, he did. 0-1 the count to Chris Ackerman. Ackerman 0 for 1 on the day. He grounded out to short to end the first inning for the Scouts. The 0-1 pitch, curveball taken on the outside part of the plate. 0-2 the count to Chris Ackerman. Ackerman, well, he has struggled as of late. The strikeout being a particular issue. He awaits the 0-2 pitch, and that one is in there for a called strike 3. Chris Ackerman goes down looking. The 4th strikeout of the evening for Hamilton Joes starting pitcher Matt Szabo, and out number 1 here in the top of the 4th. So now Ryan Park will step in for the Scouts. Ryan Park, well, let me tell you, he thought he had a day off today, but after a hit by pitch to Joey Roddy, his first pitch to Park is hit in the air, foul territory, left field side, out of play, 0-1 the count. Joey Roddy hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning, had to be taken out of the game with an injury, so Donald Ring moves from the catcher spot over to third base, and now Ryan Park comes in to catch this ball game. The 0-1 pitch to Park. Curveball upstairs and outside, 1-1 moves the count. Park, a .278 hitter on the year, 4 double 9 RBIs. He has 25 walks this year. A super impressive 449 on base percentage. Curveball taken by Park on the outside part of the plate. A called strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 away here in the home half of the fourth. A 3-2 lead for the Hamilton Joes. The 1-2 pitch, and Park hits that one high in the air. Foul ball out of play left field side. The count will stay at 1-2. Park, the catcher from Point Loma Nazarene. The Point Loma Nazarene Sea Lions, of course. That's out in California, a Division II program. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball hit on the ground towards the shortstop, Eric Santiago. He fields it cleanly, throws over to first in time to get Ryan Park. 2 up, 2 down here for Matt Zabo in the home half of the fourth. And Dylan Lottenville to the plate here to try to get a little 2-out rally going for the Scouts. The 2-out rally, well, it's not impossible. Just 1 inning ago, it was a strikeout and a ground out to lead things off for the Scouts in the third, but with 2 outs, a Jordan Lambert single, followed by a 2-run home run off the bat of Kyle Casserly, put the Scouts on the board. First pitch curveball to Lottenville, taken on the outside part of the plate. 0-1 goes the count. Lottenville flew out into what ended up being a double play as the 1-0 pitch, check swing. Did he go? The appeal to the field umpire says no, he did not. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Dylan Lottenville. But yeah, fly out and shallow left field to the shortstop. They end up, as Lottenville launches on the outside, 2-1, end up throwing back over to third. Ryan Park was a sitting duck between first and second, so they get the force at first. So that ends up being an F6-3 double play. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count now to Dylan Lottenville. The Hillsdale Charger. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. The count evens up at 2-2. Lottenville, he has struggled this season. A 106 hitter. 3 doubles, 4 RBIs. He bats from the right side here against the righty. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike. They'll throw over to first. And that'll get there in time for out number 3. So a couple of punch outs. And the Scouts go down in order in the home half of the fourth. No runs on no hits. Nobody left aboard for Xenia. We have played 4 innings of baseball here at Grady's Field. The Joes lead the Scouts by a score of 3-2. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Inning number 5 of baseball here at Grady's Field. The Scouts trailed the Hamilton Joes by a score of 3-2. Zach Wallace out to pitch his 5th inning of work. And he will face Mason Deanna, Ryan McClellan, and Riley Dent at the minimum here for the Hamilton Joes. First pitch to Deanna, curveball right down the pipe, taken for a called strike 1. Mason Deanna, well, he's 0 for 1 on the day. His first at bat grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. He bats from the right side here against the righty. The 1-0 pitch, fastball outside part of the plate, a call strike 2. So Zach Wallace quickly ahead in this count, 0-2 on Mason Deanna. Deanna, the catcher from the University of Cincinnati, a .276 hitter. That is the 3rd best batting average on these Hamilton Joes. The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, spikes get past Ryan Park, but no problem with nobody on base. 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count. Deanna, one of the returning guys for these Hamilton Joes. played last season for the Joes. And of course, the Joes in 2016 ended up winning the Great Lakes Collegiate Baseball League Championship. The 1-2 pitch, and that ball is hit in the air, line drive, left field. That'll drop, a base hit down the line. Jordan Lambert fields it. Deanna rounds first, heading for second. The throw to second will not get there in time. Sliding in safely is Mason Deanna, a lead-off double for Deanna and the Hamilton Joes. That is the third double allowed in the last 3 innings off of Zach Wallace. And once again, he will have to work with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. So a hiccup there for Zach Wallace. And now Ryan McClellan's going to step to the plate. McClellan, he's 1 for 1 on the day. Came around to score on a 2 RBI double off the bat of Genesis Hillard for the first of the 2 runs scored back in the 3rd inning. First pitch to him. Curveball finds the zone, a called strike 1. McClellan, the right fielder from Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio, of course, a school Division I program. They play in the Mid-American Conference. He has posted 8 multi-hit games this season. But as he swings and hits one in the air left field, shallow enough, Jordan Lambert pulls up, comes under it, makes the grab, rockets it into third. So Mason Deanna is not going to try anything on the advance. 1 away. So back to the top of the order here for these Hamilton Joes. The leadoff batter to the plate, that's Riley Dent. Dent, the center fielder from Valparaiso. He's 0 for 1 with a walk on the day. Did come around to score on that 2 RBI double from Genesis Hillard. Dent, a .253 hitter on the year with 3 RBIs. Mason Deanna stands at second. 1 away here in the top of the 5th. 3-2 Hamilton is your score. First pitch to Dent. Curveball upstairs and inside. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Riley Dent, like we said, of Valparaiso. Valparaiso, a Division I program in the Horizon League. The 1-0 pitch, that one missing on the inside yet again, 2-0. Dent, the native of Long Beach, California. As looks like Zach Wallace is going to step off the mound. It looks like they called, actually, before that pitch, they called a balk on Zach Wallace. So the pitch doesn't count. But Mason Deanna moves from second to third base. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one is hit in the air. Line drive, left field. It's going to drop in front of Jordan Lambert. A base hit. Coming in to score is Mason Deanna, an RBI single off the bat of Riley Dent. And the Hamilton Joes now extend their lead to 4-2. So same thing, different day. It was the leadoff double, the advance on the passed ball, and then the sacrifice fly an inning ago that brought home Nigel Williams. That was the 3rd run of the game for the Joes. Now 1 inning later, leadoff double to third on a balk and an RBI single from Dent. As first pitch hit on the ground towards the third baseman, Donald Ring. Ring can barely hold on, but he makes the throw over to first in time to get Genesis Hillard out number 2. So a 1 pitch out there for Zach Wallace. The man at first, Riley Dent, advances 90 feet into scoring position. And now Eric Santiago is going to come to the plate with a runner in scoring position and 2 away. Santiago, he's the leading RBI man on this Hamilton Joes ball club. 23 on the year for him. A .271 average, a couple of extra base hits, 4 doubles, and 2 triples. He's 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch to him. Curveball taken in there for a called strike 1. Santiago, the shortstop from the University of Cincinnati. He has been all kinds of productive for this Hamilton Joes team. But he hasn't been over 300 since July 4th. Runner goes, throw over to third, will not get there in time. So Eric Santiago will now have to work with a runner at third as Riley Dent steals the bag. That's his 6th steal of the season. 6 steals in now 9 attempts for Riley Dent. Here with 2 away, 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Wallace delivers. Curveball hit in the air, shallow center field. Coming in is Francisco Andina. He'll pull up and make the grab for out number 3. But 1 run on 2 hits and 1 man left aboard for the Hamilton Joes. We are in the middle of the 5th inning. The Joes lead the Scouts by a score of 4-2. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. The bottom of the 5th inning here, 4-2. Now the score in favor of the Hamilton Joes. Francisco Andina in to lead things off for the Xenia Scouts here. First pitch to him. As time is called, they will say that will not count as the music went too long. So Andina, the center fielder from Spring Arbor University, he has struggled as of late. A strikeout in his first at-bat in this ballgame. Hasn't had a hit in over a week. First pitch, swung on and missed. Nothing and 1 to count to Francisco Andina. Andina, a 167 hitter on the year, 5 doubles, a home run, and 7 RBIs. The bright spot for him has been the walks. 22 of them on the year. That is second on the Xenia Scouts ball club. The 0-1 pitch, fastball outside the part of the plate, taken for a called strike 2. So Andina quickly behind in this count, 0-2 against the starting pitcher, Matt Zabo. It'll be Andina, Bourgeois, and Aaron Takis due up for the Scouts here in the home half of the 5th. The Joes have scored in 3 consecutive innings, and the Scouts are now hard-pressed to try to keep up. 4-2 in favor of the Joes is the score. The 0-2 pitch, upstairs and outside, 1-2. Andina, of course, the native of Puerto Rico. 12th in the league in walks with 22. He has 4 multi-hit games. He bats from the left side here against the righty as Andina steps out, fixes the batting gloves. And Gabe, you probably noticed he does that same thing every time where he shrugs his shoulders up.
Every single time.
1-2 pitch upstairs and outside, 2-2. Andina is 4 for 18 on the season against the Hamilton Joes. That's a .222 average with 6 walks in 6 games against Hamilton. The 2-2 pitch coming to him now. Fouled straight back into the screen. Will stay at 2-2. The Scouts have 2 runs this game on 3 hits. It was a single from Jordan Lambert and a 2-run home run from Kyle Casserly. Responsible for all of the scoring. So 2-2 pitch upstairs. Andina struggles to check his swing, but they say he did. Balls on 2 strikes is the count. Andina shrugs his shoulders, looks at his bat, and now he steps back in. Zabo, upstairs. Cisco Andina, 23rd walk of the season. And the Scouts have the leadoff man aboard here in the home half of the 5th.
And a leadoff runner is exactly what they did to try to chip into this deficit here in the bottom half of the 5th.
So when the leadoff man aboard is going to go back to the top of the order with Ange Bourgeois. Bourgeois 0 for 2 on the day, a ground out and a strikeout. He bats from the left side here against the righty. Andina leads from first. Nobody out here in the home half of the fifth. First pitch to Bourgeois, taken upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Bourgeois, a .229 hitter on the year with 7 RBIs. The 1-0 pitch. That one, upper outside part of the zone, a called strike 1. So a ball and a strike. Now the count to Ange Bourgeois. Bourgeois is 5 this season, 2 walks, RBIs as well. The 1-1 pitch. The runner on Dina goes, swing and a miss. Throw will be in time. Francisco Andina caught stealing out number 1. And after the swinging strike there, Ange Bourgeois behind in this count 1-2.
Yeah, I actually thought Andina got a decent jump, just a perfect Indiana behind the plate.
It almost looked like he, as he was running well, but a 1-2 pitch down to Ange Bourgeois. Curveball outside part of the plate. A call for the second time today. This time, the 6th game at Zabo, and now 2 away. Next, got to be the plate.
That's a good curveball. Just got the outside edge.
First pitch to Aaron Tech is fouled off left field side, out of play. Nothing in 1 the count here. 2 away in the home half of the 5th. Takis, well, he's 0 for 1 on the day. Did draw a walk and steal a base. Ended up stranded at third in the first inning. A ground out second to the zone. And once again, the Scouts find themselves in the hole here against Matthew Zabo. Takis behind this count, 0-2. He bats from the left side here against the righty Zabo. And Takis hits that one in the air. Line drive, center field, base hit. Aaron Takis has his first hit of the ball game, the 4th hit of the day for the Scouts. And here in the home half of the 5th inning, it's going to be up to Jordan Lambert to see if they can get another 2-out rally going here. Lambert, 1 for 1 on the day. He's singled back in the 3rd inning, reached base back in the 1st as well with a walk. Lambert, the best batting average of all the active players on the Scouts, a .294 mark with 17 RBIs. First pitch to him. Lower inside part of the zone, a called strike 1. Lambert, left fielder from the University of Tennessee Martin. 52nd in average in the Great Lakes League at that .294 mark. 10 multi-hit games this season, 3 in the last 9 games. He takes the 0-1 pitch, foul ball on the ground down the first base line. So 0-2 again is the deficit that the Scouts have to work with here against Matthew Zabo. Lambert bats from the left side against the righty. Zabo looks to the catcher, Mason Deanna. He delivers the 0-2 pitch. Curveball hit in the air, foul territory. Third base side, the catcher Deanna pursuing, but he will watch it fly out of play. We'll stay at 0-2.
That's a good job from Lambert. We know he's not a curveball hitter, but on 0-2, he thought it was going to drop in the zone, and he just fouled it off.
It's Aaron Takis at first here with 2 away in the home half of the 5th. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Jordan Lambert. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The 7th strikeout of the evening for Hamilton Jones starting pitcher Matthew Zabo, and he will turn away the Scouts here in the home half of the 5th. No runs on 1 hit and 1 man left aboard for Xenia. We have played 5 innings of baseball. The Scouts trail the Hamilton Jones by a score of 4-2. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We are in inning number 6 of baseball here at Grady's Field in Xenia. The Scouts trailing the Hamilton Joes by a score of 4-2, and it'll be Zach Wallace back out to the hill to pitch his 6th inning of work. He'll face Nigel Williams, Frank Dixon, and Trey Turner. First pitch of this inning, curveball, low and away, 1 ball, and no strikes. The man at the plate is Nigel Williams. Williams, 1 for 2 on the day. He doubled, came around to score back in the 4th inning. That's his 9th double of the year, most on the Hamilton Joes. Williams takes the curveball in the zone, a called strike, 1 ball and 1 strike to count to him. 286 batting average on the year for Nigel Williams, the third baseman from Lake Erie College. The 1-1 pitch. Hit on the ground hard towards third. Donald Ring fields it. He throws over to first in time, 1 away. So Donald Ring, a guy who is not a third baseman by trade by any means, had a couple of balls hit to him, and so far so good.
Yeah, Ring has played nicely over there at third. He's made a couple plays, one on a 5-4-3 double play, and then he had one where he kept it in front of him, was able to fire to first. It might have been a double play ball, but still did good to keep the ball in front of him.
First pitch to Frank Dixon. That one missing upstairs and outside. 1 ball and no strikes here with 1 away in the top of the 6th. Dixon, the first baseman from Arizona State, he's 1 for 1 on the day. A single in the 2nd. He picked up an RBI on a sacrifice fly back in the 4th inning. The 1-0 pitch. That one fastball outside part of the plate, taken for a called strike 1. So a ball and a strike to count here to Dixon. Dixon, a two-way guy. A lefty on the mound, also bats from the left side at the plate. The 1-1 from the righty, Zach Wallace, finds the inside part of the plate, a called strike 2. So Wallace ahead in the count here. Dixon, 2 for 6 with a couple of RBIs against Xenia so far this season. Wallace looks to the catcher, Ryan Park. He delivers the 1-2 pitch, and that one is blooped in the air center field. That'll get caught by a sliding Francisco Andina. Francisco Andina robs Frank Dixon of what looked to be a bloop single out there in shallow center field. But no problem for Andina. The sliding grab and 2 away here. And Zach Wallace with an opportunity to send the Joes down in order for the first time today. When I say send them down in order, it'd be the first inning where he doesn't allow a hit or a walk. But in the first 2 innings, he did face the minimum, but got out of it via caught stealings and double play balls. First pitch to Trey Turner, curveball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 2-away here in the top of the 6th inning. Trey Turner, a .269 hitter, 5 doubles, 3 triples, and 2 home runs so far on the year. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball outside part of the plate, a called strike. 1-1 goes the count. We talked about Trey Turner earlier. Arizona State, the two-way guy. Came to Arizona State to play football and baseball, but apparently has cut out the football aspect altogether. He waits the 1-1 pitch. On the ground, foul, third base side. Wallace ahead in the count, 1-2. Turner hasn't been that great this season. His numbers for the Hamilton Joes, but he has done his best work so far against the Xenia Scouts. Turner, 9 for 25 with 6 RBIs against the Scouts so far this season. The pitch to him, and that one a chopper up the middle. In comes the shortstop, Aaron Takis. He throws over to first in time. Out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning, thanks in part to a great defensive play right there from Aaron Takis and a great defensive play by the center fielder Francisco Andina, one batter prior. But just like that, the Joes go down in order. No runs on no hits and nobody left aboard for Hamilton. We are in the middle of the 6th inning. The Scouts trail the Hamilton Joes by a score of 4-2. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. The bottom of the sixth inning here at Grady's Field. The Scouts trailing by a score of 4-2, but it'll be Kyle Casserly, Donald Ring, and Chris Ackerman to the plate. And Casserly, well, he's had a pretty good day so far, 2 for 2, responsible for all the scoring on his 2-run home run. He shows bunt to start things off, but pulls back as that ball was delivered way on the outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Kyle Casserly. Casserly, his 2-run home run was his second home run on the season. RBIs number 14 and 15 for him, but he checks his swing, but apparently can't just check it enough. The home plate umpire says he went around, so the count now 1 ball and 1 strike to the first baseman from Wright State. He bats from the left side against the righty, the 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and Casserly now behind in this count 1-2. Kyle, the team leader in doubles, well, almost said dugouts, with 11 this year, 13 RBIs. He watches low and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Also, third on the team in walks with 18, and third on the team in steals with 5. He awaits the 2-2 pitch. Way on the outside, the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Kyle Casserly. Casserly, the only scout with a multi-hit day so far. The 3-2 pitch to Casserly. Low and inside, ball number 4. So Kyle Casserly draws his 19th walk of the season. And Xenia has the leadoff man aboard here for Donald Ring.
And once again, the Scouts have a leadoff runner on. They had it in the 5th, I believe. Yes, they had it in the 2nd inning as well. Their only 2 runs today have come with off the bat of Kyle Casserly after there was already 2 outs in the inning. So let's see if they can jump on Zabo here.
First pitch to Donald Ring upstairs, 1-0. But the Scouts missing opportunities a couple times so far this game, most notably the bases loaded with 1 out in the home half of the first. But a shallow fly out and a ground out made them go away with nothing in that first inning of play. Casserly leads from first. The 1-0 pitch to Donald Ring. That one is hit hard over towards second. The second baseman, Jake Murray, bobbles it. Everyone is safe. So mark that one down as what will be an error on the Hamilton Joes, but now for Chris Ackerman. It's runners at first and second with nobody out, the tying run over at first base. Ackerman, well, he has struggled lately. A 197 hitter on the year. He's 0 for 2 on the day. A ground out and a strikeout for Ackerman. Ackerman, the catcher from Hillsdale College. He got off to a hot, I wouldn't say a hot start, but had a very hot streak in the middle of the season where he picked up a couple of home runs over the course of a couple of games, 12 RBIs in about a 10-game span, but since then has very much cooled off, but still has that power in that bat. We all know at first pitch, Ackerman shows bunt, but pulls back. That one low and inside, 1 ball and no strikes to Chris Ackerman. Ackerman 3 for 12 with 5 walks and 7 RBIs in the previous 4 games he played against the Joes. A 5 RBI day as the pitcher Zabo steps off and looks Casserly back over to second. A 5 RBI day with a double and a home run in a 9-7 win against the Joes on June 30th. But since then, he has had 20 strikeouts in the last 10 games. Ackerman shows bunt again, but that time fouls it straight back into the screen. The count evens up, 1 ball and 1 strike here. Ack now 1 for his last 25 at the plate.
And that error by the second baseman, Murray, is huge.
The 1-1 pitch, Ackerman shows bunt. That one is taken out of the air. They'll throw back to second. Good job by Kyle Casserly to slide back into second before they can get the force. Mark that one down as an F1 as the first baseman, Frank Dixon, just charged really hard down the, or F3, as the first baseman, Frank Dixon, just charged really hard to pick that ball out of the air, but a pretty bad bunt attempt there by Chris Ackerman.
I was about to say the Scouts catch a break with the error at second. Instead of 2 outs, nobody on. It was 2 on, nobody out. And then
a good hitter to the plate in Ryan Park to bat. He hits a slow ground ball over towards short. They'll throw over to first, and that will pull the first baseman Frank Dixon off the bag. So just a little half swing ground ball over towards shortstop, and the Scouts have the bases loaded for Dylan Lawtonville.
And it's just an inning of bad breaks for both teams. The Joes with a couple of bad breaks on the error by the second baseman Murray, and now an error on Eric Santiago at short, as they're going to give it an error, not an infield hit for Park. The Scouts catch a bad break with the Ackerman bunt just being more like a line drive halfway down the line that the first baseman Frank Dixon was able to come in and catch easily on the fly. But now the bases are loaded.
First pitch to Lawtonville, curveball inside part of the plate, called strike one. Lawtonville is 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to short his first time up, struck out his second time up. He bats from the right side here against the righty. The base is loaded and 1 out. The 1-0-1 pitch to Lawtonville, taken upstairs and outside. 1-1 goes the count. Lawtonville, a 106 hit around the year, 3 doubles, 4 RBIs on the season. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Lawtonville quickly behind in this count, 1-2. It's Kyle Casserly at third, Donald Ring at second, and Ryan Park at first with 1 away here. Francisco Andina awaits on deck. The pitch, and Lawtonville fouls that one straight back into the screen. We'll stay at 1-2. How did we get here? Well, Kyle Casserly walked. Then Donald Ring hit a ground ball to second. Error on the second baseman. Chris Ackerman flew out. And then Ryan Park, ground ball to short. Error on the shortstop. As Lawtonville goes fishing. Swing and a miss. His second strikeout of the day. Strikeout number 8 of the evening for the starting pitcher, Matt Zaba, for these Hamilton Joes. And more importantly, out number 2 here in this inning. So that takes away the sacrifice fly. And Francisco Andina, a guy who hasn't been able to buy a hit over the past 5 games, in a big spot here.
And now once again, the Scouts had bases loaded, 1 out in the first inning, no runs. Let's see if Andina can avoid that same fate.
First pitch to Andina, upstairs, throw back over to third to try to get Kyle Casserly, not in time. The catcher, Mason Deanna, thought he had Kyle Casserly standing a little too far off the bag, but once again, good job by Kyle Casserly. Prevent that from being an inning-ending pickoff attempt. The 1-0 pitch. Upstairs and outside, 2-0. The bases loaded here with 2 away in the home half of the 6th. The Scouts trying to come back here in a game that the Hamilton Joes currently lead by a score of 4-2. Andina bats from the left side here against the righty. The 2-0 pitch. High, ball 3. Matthew Zabo is going to have to give Francisco Andina something to hit here or risk walking. Run number 3 home in this ball game and bring it back to the top of the order for the Scouts.
And Andina on 3-0. No way he has the green light.
Oh, there's not a chance.
So if you're, obviously you want to hit. A hit might score 2, but if you're Andina and the Scouts, you're hoping Zabo cannot hit the strike zone twice in a row. He throws a ball in one of the next 2 pitches, and you get a run here.
So 3 balls and no strike, the count to Francisco Andina. Andina drew a walk his last time up. The 3-0 pitch. That one just finds the inside part of the plate, a called strike 1. The get me across pitch does just that, if not barely. Now Francisco Andina still ahead in this count, though a very favorable hitter's 3-1 count. The bases loaded with 2 outs here in the home half of the 6th. The pitch. Fastball right down the heart of the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Zabo did his job there. Hit the strike zone twice. Andina once again betting that Zabo couldn't do it after missing 3 straight times. And now the count's full. Biggest pitch of the day for the Scouts.
3 balls and 2 strikes. The count with 2 away, and the bases loaded here in the home half of the 6th. Zabo's going to step off. And now Andina will step back into the box. Zabo looks to the catcher, Deanna. All the runners are going. The 3-2 pitch, and swing and a miss, strike 3. The Scouts come away with nothing yet again. They load the bases with 1 away, but can do nothing with it. A couple of strikeouts from Dylan Lawtonville and Francisco Andina. That's now at 9 on the evening for the starting pitcher, Matt Zabo. No runs on no hits, a couple of errors by Hamilton, and 3 men left aboard. For the Scouts, we have played 6 innings of baseball. The Scouts trail the Jones by a score of 4-2. Gabe Genovesi is going to bring in the final 3 innings of this ball game when we come back. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
We head to the 7th here at Grady's Field, a 4-2 Xenia Scouts deficit over the Hamilton Joes. Zach Wallace back out on the mound for his 7th inning of work. He'll face Jake Murray. First pitch to Murray popped up. Shallow left field. Takis going back, makes the grab, 1 down. 1 pitch, 1 out for Zach Wallace, and that's exactly what he was looking for. And that'll bring up Mason Deanna, the 8-hole hitter who is 1 for 2 today with a double his last time up in the 5th inning. That was his 2nd double of the year. Deanna, who's been hoping to break out of a slump, that double might just do it. First pitch to Mason Deanna. Curveball misses low and in. 1-0. The Joes with 2 runs in the 3rd, a run in the 4th, and a run in the 5th. The Scouts 2 runs in the 3rd as well on a 2-run bomb from Kyle Casserly. The 1-0. Deanna bloops one into center on Dina charging in, makes the grab. 2 down. Zach Wallace, quick 2 up, 2 down in the 7th. That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Ryan McClellan. Wallace, who had given up 4 runs on 7 hits, pitched a 1-2-3 6th, hoping to pitch a 1-2-3 7th. McClellan trying to get in the way of that. He's 1 for 2 today. Singled his first time up in the 3rd inning. Flew out to left his last time up in the 5th. McClellan bats from the left side. The first pitch. Below the knees, 1-0. Ryan McClellan doesn't have a multi-hit game this season. So a hit here or maybe in his next at-bat if he gets one. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Would be his first multi-hit game of the year. Wallace back up on the rubber. The count 1-1 on Ryan McClellan. The pitch. Curveball inside corner. Strike 2. A good pitch that buckled the knees of McClellan. 1-2. Ryan McClellan, a 196 hitter on the year. He's 2 for 11 against the Scouts. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Zach Wallace pitches another 1-2-3 inning. He gets his 3rd strikeout of the evening, and that'll take us to the home half of the 7th. The Scouts trail 4-2. You're listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. A 4-2 Hamilton Joe's lead over the Xenia Scouts as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Ange Bourgeois, Aaron Takis, and Jordan Lambert, the top of the order, 1, 2, 3 hitters for the Scouts, due up here in the 7th. They'll face Wes Rickenberg in his first inning of relief for the Joes tonight. Matthew Zabo pitches 6 innings, only gives up 2 runs on 4 hits. First pitch from Rickenberg, outside corner, strike 1. 0-1 to Ange Bourgeois, who is 0 for 3 today. Bourgeois, a couple of strikeouts in the 3rd and the 5th. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside, 1-1. Wes Rickenberg on the year, making his 12th appearance, an 8.1 ERA in 23 and a third innings pitched for Rickenberg. The 1-1. Line drive, base hit, right center field. That ball's cut off by the center fielder, Riley Dent. Bourgeois is going to head for 2. He dives and he's safe. Ange Bourgeois with a double to lead off the 7th inning for the Scouts. His 4th double of the year. And that'll bring up Aaron Takis with the runner on second and nobody down. So Rickenberg, who had given up 4 doubles all season, gives up his 5th to Bourgeois. Rickenberg, a .296 batting average against, a whip of 1.89. So he gives up a little under 2 base runners an inning. And now Aaron Takis steps up. The first pitch, low and away, ball 1. Takis 1 for 2 with a walk tonight. A single his last time up in the 5th inning. Grounded out to the pitcher Zabo in the 3rd inning. Walked his first time up in the 1st inning. The pitch, fastball grounded foul. Down the first base line, 1-1. The Scouts trailing 4-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 runs in the 3rd off a 2-run home run to right field by Kyle Casserly. The Joes with 2 runs in the 3rd as well, a run in the 4th and a run in the 5th. The pitch, fouled off behind the plate, 1-2. Takis, who's been hitting very well as of late, a .290 average coming into this game. Takis hitting .306 over his last 10. The 1-2. Curveball just misses off the outside edge, 2-2. Takis has not had success against the Joes this season. 2 for 17 in 5 games played. Now the 2-2 pitch. Another curveball misses just off the outside corner once again, 3-2. So Takis' single his last time up was only his 3rd hit against Joe's pitching. Bourgeois leads off a second. The 3-2 pitch. Fastball chopped foul down the first baseline. Will stay at 3-2.
And medical update, Joey Roddy in the hospital getting x-rays.
We saw Roddy get hit on the elbow earlier in the game. Was really struggling. Actually, it looked like he was limping. We thought it might be his leg. The 3-2 lined foul down the 3rd baseline will stay at 3-2. And it turned out he was just in so much pain. He wanted to keep moving. He wanted to keep hopping. And he just couldn't go anymore. And talking to Michael Pineda O'Donnell, a relief pitcher for the Scouts, as Rickenberg sets the 3-2 pitch, curveball, once again fouled off behind the plate, will stay at 3-2. Pineda O'Donnell said Roddy was just a little bit freaked out. He thought it might be broken, and they rushed him to the hospital pretty quickly. So please keep Joey Roddy in your prayers tonight. The 3-2 pitch. Low in the turf, ball 4. Aaron Takis walks. 1st and 2nd, nobody down for the Scouts here in the 7th.
And this is exactly what you're looking for if you're a Scouts fan. You get the 1 and 2 hitters on, and you get to that heart of the order with Jordan Lambert, Kyle Casserly, followed by Donald Ring. 2 on and nobody out. If the Scouts are going to try to make a comeback in this game, they have to execute here in the home half of the 7th.
Lambert 1 for 2 with a walk tonight. A single in the 3rd inning. He struck out swinging his last time up in the 5th. He bats from the left side against the righty Rickenberg. First pitch. Fastball low, 1-0. Bourgeois stands on second after a double. Takis walks. Lambert steps out, takes a deep breath. touches the outside part of the plate as the Scouts trail 4-2 here in the home half of the 7th. The pitch. Fastball grounded first base side. Dixon picks it up, throws to second for one, back over to first, and he is out. And assistant coach Ross Yoder at first base absolutely hates the call, jumping up and down. Lambert doesn't like it either, but the Joes turn 2 here in the 7th. Bourgeois moves to third, 2 down.
Well, I'll tell you why, Gabe. It's because Frank Dixon, the first baseman, his foot was off the bag. So when he caught the ball, that is not when it should be considered whether he was out or not. Dixon then does a double take, moves his foot back, and I think that Lambert hit first before Dixon's foot did.
And in steps Kyle Casserly to face Rickenberg. First pitch, chopped left side. Shortstop Santiago picks it up, fires to first for the out, and that is a killer. The Scouts cannot get a run after first and second with nobody down here in the 7th inning. And quite frankly, a pretty bad call over at first base.
Yeah.
Ends up being a double play. Casserly grounds out to short, and that'll do it for the Scouts in the 7th. Joe's lead 4-2 heading to the 8th. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. The Scouts failed to score once again in the bottom of the 7th after having runners on first and second and nobody down. We head to the 8th inning. The Joes lead the Scouts 4-2. Zach Wallace back out for his 8th inning of work for the Scouts. He's given up 7 hits, 4 runs through 7. First pitch to Riley Dent. Dent lays down a bunt. Back to Wallace. He picks it up, fires to first, and Dent is safe. The speed of Riley Dent beats out the bunt single. Leadoff runner on here in the 8th.
So you think that the speed of Dent beat that out, and that because the throw from Wallace over to first a little bit offline pulls Casserly off the bag. Do you think that
it was a little
safe
off,
regardless?
But I think he would have been safe regardless. It would have been a close play though. And now pitching coach Corey Coobs is going to come out and talk to Wallace.
Got Leighton Tyre infield coming in as well. A weird game here so far tonight is, some defensive substitutions have to have been made. Like Gabe mentioned earlier, if you've been with us the entire time, Joey Roddy, a hit by pitch, ends up, getting him on the elbow. A scary moment for Roddy. He's getting x-rays right now. The Scouts with Ben Beachy out with a knee injury, out of usable infielders. So suddenly Donald Ring playing the hot corner. Ryan Park has to come in to catch. And Ring has done a good job in that 5 spot, but the story of the game for the Scouts has been runners left on base. They leave 3 runners on base in the first inning. They get a runner on, but double play in the second inning. They do come up big in the third inning on the 2-run home run from Kyle Casserly, but that's been pretty much it since then. Other than that, a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. They leave 1 on or 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. They leave 1 on in the 5th. In the 6th, they leave the bases loaded again. And then last inning, once again, they get a leadoff double, but Strand and Bourgeois at third. And that's been the story so far today, Gabe.
Genesis Hiller to the plate for the Joes. Wallace throws over to first for the second straight time. Dent dives back safely each time. Dent, pretty speedy over at first base.
Yeah, Riley Dent, certainly a threat to steal. He's 7 steals. He's been thrown out 5 times, so a little bit better than 50% of the time. But 7 steals, that would still be as many as anyone on the, or as the top base stealer on the Xenia Scouts. That's Jordan Lambert.
Still no pitch to Genesis Hillard. Wallace really stepping off, taking his time, and now back on the pitch. Hillard lays down bunt. Wallace fields it, tosses to first for the out, but they get Riley Dent over to second. You can call that a sack bunt for Genesis Hillard.
And a very well-executed bunt down that first base line, kind of just in an angle where Zach Wallace had to field his position and get there. Luckily, just underhands it in time to make sure that the bunt wasn't going to be beat out, but Riley Dent safe at second. All the good sacrifice bunt there by Hillard.
And in steps Eric Santiago, who's 1 for 3 tonight for the Joes. Santiago bats from the right side against the righty Wallace. Wallace finally comes set. The pitch. Curveball swung on and missed 0-1.
Yeah, Santiago getting fooled by that curveball all the way. Goes fishing at a ball that ends up finishing about 2 lengths of the ball outside of the zone.
Santiago 1 for 3 tonight, a single in the first inning. Ended up getting thrown out at second, trying to extend that into a double. Fly out to left in the third, a fly out to center in the fifth. The 0-1 pitch, not quite delivered. Wallace started to kick his leg and went back to second with it. Definitely fooled me. No one at the second base bag for the throw from Wallace. Riley Dent, a big lead over at second with the speed. Wallace checks him, the 0-1 pitch. Way low and outside. A good block by Park to keep it in front of him, 1-1.
Yeah, good job there defensively by Park, no question. The Scouts cannot afford to let another runner for these Hamilton Joes advance a free 90 feet from second to third.
Santiago, a .271 hitter on the year. The 1-1 pitch. Outside once again. 2-1 to Eric Santiago. Santiago coming into tonight was 4 for 15 with a walk and 3 RBIs against Scouts pitching. In game number 2 between these two teams back in June, he had a 3 RBI triple. That was all of his RBIs. Wallace back to really taking his time on the mound here in the 8th. The 2-1 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. Strike 2.
Yeah, good pitch there from Wallace. We see Zach Wallace in inning number 8 of work. I believe this has got to be the farthest he's gone into any ball game so far this season.
Santiago, his average hasn't been over 300 since July 4th. Way earlier this month as we're here on the 25th. The pitch. Low below the knees, 3-2.
Yeah, July 4th. That certainly seems like a year ago at this point.
Wallace hitting .250 over his last 7 games. Does have 6 RBIs in those 7 games, though. Wallace sets. The 3-2 pitch, not delivered once again. He gets me every time on that leg kick. He picks up his leg and just goes right to second. But once again, no middle infielder there. And he holds on to it. We'll stay at 3-2. Zach Wallace, a guy who's not going to rush anything. The 3-2 pitch, curveball, line drive, base hit left field. Lambert chasing all the way to the corner. He'll pick it up near the wall. An RBI double for Eric Santiago, his 5th double of the year, RBI number 24, and the Joes lead 5-2 here in the 8th.
And we can probably expect that this could be it for Zach Wallace. Wallace now 93 pitches into this outing through 7 1/3, and it'll be interesting to see if Bubba Cates makes the call or will allow him to try to finish this inning for himself.
You called it, my friend. Here comes Cates. Reigning manager of the year, Bubba Cates, after the Scouts won the 2016 Southern Division.
Over the Hamilton Joes.
And that has not been the case this year.
Yeah. It's Very interesting how the first and second place team last year end up being the fourth and fifth place team this year.
That's exactly what I
Times
was
have
going to say.
changed.
Zach Wallace will jog over to the bench. Not a bad outing for Zach Wallace. Not at all. Trying to tally up his final numbers here. It's going to be 7 1/3 innings pitched. He did give up 9 hits, but only 5 runs so far. He's responsible for the runner on second. He struck out 3 and walked 2. And now Caden Owens in to pitch for the Scouts. We're going to step aside just for 30 seconds while Owens warms up. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Go for it.
Caden Owens in to pitch for the Xenia Scouts here in the top of the 8th. The Joes have added another run to extend their lead to 5-2. Eric Santiago with an RBI double stands on second. The double coming off of Zach Wallace. Caden Owens in to try to clean up this inning for the Scouts. He'll face Nigel Williams.
Caden Owens, 13 innings pitched, a 1.38 ERA. He has struck out 18 and walked 7 in that period of time. 3 saves for Caden Owens, a 1-1 record posted as well.
First pitch to Nigel Williams, low and away, ball 1.
Owens with a 1.54 whip. Opponent's bet .255 against Caden Owens.
Williams 1 for 3 today. The pitch, low, 2-0 to Nigel Williams. Williams grounded out to the shortstop Takis his first time up. Singled in the 4th inning, came around to score the 3rd run of the game on a sac fly from Frank Dixon. Now the 2-0 pitch, just below the knees. Caden Owens comes out and misses 3 straight times. Very unlike Owens.
Yeah, Owens has been experiencing some issues with fatigue. Just late into this year, just doesn't have that arm buildup after sitting out a couple straight seasons at Oral Roberts.
The 3-0. Misses below the knees again, and I don't know about that one, but they're going to call it a 4-pitch walk.
Hopefully Owens can set himself up with a double play ball here. It's really not many issues so far this season for Caden Owens. He has been mostly automatic.
1 mishap against the Richmond Jazz at Richmond. Otherwise, very solid from Caden Owens. First pitch to Frank Dixon, who bats from the left side. Below the knees, ball 1. 5 straight balls from Caden Owens. And Andrew read the numbers. But against the Richmond Jazz, Owens got the first 2 outs of the 8th inning. As the 1-0 pitch to Dixon. Curveball. Dixon checks his swing. He went around 1-1. You heard the numbers of Caden Owens. 13 innings pitched. He's only given up 2 earned runs. However, 8 runs total. Those 6 unearned runs all against the Richmond Jazz. That's the 1-1 pitch to Frank Dixon. Low once again, 2-1. Owens got the first 2 outs of the 8th inning with the Scouts up 7-5. He gave up a walk. He gave up, I believe it was a hit and a walk, and then a ground ball to the shortstop, Ben Beachy, under Beachy's glove. And that just kept the inning going for the Jazz. The 2-1 pitch misses low once again, 3-1 to Frank Dixon. And so one of the runs that day was earned for Caden Owens. All of the others, I believe it was another 6 unearned.
And ever since that point, it's been a real struggle for the Scouts just generally this season.
Now the 3-1 runner taking off. Park fakes the throw to second, and the reason he faked it is it was ball 4 below the knees. Owens comes out and walks 2 in a row. Bases loaded, 1 out for the Joes.
And Trey Turner, a guy who's done very well against the Scouts coming to the plate. But, since that game, let's think about even the games that we've won. A couple of Caleb Fernholz starts. One against the Cincinnati Steam. One game against the Hamilton Joes as well. And it's really been a struggle otherwise.
First pitch to Trey Turner, curveball on the dirt, ball 1. Caden Owens has pitched 10 pitches, 1 strike so far this evening. Ryan Park going to come out and have a chat with them. Trey Turner, you mentioned the success against the Scouts. Coming into tonight, he was 9 for 25 with 6 RBIs and 2 walks. He has 7 multi-hit games this year. 3 of them are against the Xenia Scouts. However, tonight, Trey Turner is 0 for 3. The Arizona State Sun Devil bats from the right side. The pitch. Fastball popped up, foul territory, right field. Lottenville chasing. He won't get there. A long strike evens up the count at 1-1. Turner came into Arizona State as a football and a baseball player. After redshirting in both sports, he has decided to drop football and focus on baseball at Arizona State.
Almost surprising because that man has a crazy amount of speed.
The 1-1. Fastball chopped toward third. Ring fields it on a couple hops. Goes to 2. And over to first. Turner beat it out. It's going to be very hard to get Turner to ground and do a double play with a 4.38 40 time, just to give you an idea how fast Trey Turner is. The ground ball scores a run. Santiago scores at 6-2 Joes. They get the out at second. Nigel Williams moves to third. Trey Turner on first after the fielder's choice.
And they just got to limit the damage here. Our big out here for Caden Owens if the Scouts have any chance of making a comeback late in this game.
That run was Zach Wallace's. He was responsible for Eric Santiago after the double. First pitch to Jake Murray. Owens goes to first with it. Now over to second. The throw's low and trickles into left field. A run scores. And now Trey Turner moves to third. So instead of an out, it's 7-2 Joes.
Oh, yeah, then that one is that's a tough way to go down if you're the Scouts and allowing another run to come home there. And, it looked right there like Caden Owens had a great pickoff move that was going to get him out of the inning without any further damage. But now another run comes home. The runner at second, or the runner at first, advancing all the way to third.
For Jake Murray. Curveball misses high and inside. 1-0. And the one thing I will say, Casserly never checked home. So even if that throw was on time and they get Trey Turner at second base, a run would have scored there, and it would have been 7-2. Where it hurts is Trey Turner is still standing on third. Fastball chopped right back at Owens. He'll go to 1 with it, and that'll do it. Actually, no, there were 2 outs, so that would have been the inning. That's my apologies there.
Well, I mean, actually, if you think about it, right, if they just gotten caught in a pickle and the run came home, if the guy could have stalled enough at first, then yes, the run would have counted. If the run came home before the out was tagged.
Either way, the Joes strike 3 times in the 8th inning, only on 2 hits and 1 error on the throw from Casserly. They leave 1 left aboard, and it is 7-2 Hamilton heading to the 8th. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. The Joes break it open in the top of the 8th with 3 runs, and they lead the Scouts 7-2. First pitch to Ring, chopped, first base, foul ball. 0-1 to Donald Ring. The Joes lead the Scouts 7-2. Donald Ring, Chris Ackerman, and Ryan Park. The 5, 6, 7 hitters for the Scouts due up in the 8th to face Wes Rickenberg, who's on in his 2nd inning of relief. Now Ring flares one into shallow left field. Turner coming in, makes the grab, 1 down.
A tough day so far for Donald Ring. That is 0 for 4 now for Ring. And the Scouts, they're not totally out of this one. The Hamilton Joes bullpen has been known this season for blowing late inning leads, even big ones like a 5-run lead right here. But they're going to have to start showing some discipline at the plate, trying to get these guys to throw as many pitches as they can, work their way in counts, and hopefully you find something to hit here and there.
In steps Chris Ackerman. He bats from the right side. First pitch, curveball, just misses inside, 1-0. And me and Andrew talking off air, 1-0 pitch to Ackerman. Just figuring out that ever since that collapse at Richmond, when Owens gave up the 7 runs, again, not all Owens' fault, only one of them was earned. He got the first 2 outs of the inning. 2-0 pitch to Ackerman, outside corner, strike 1. The Scouts were 12-11 going into that game. They had a 7-5 lead in the 8th. They lose to go to 12-12. So ever since being 12-11, the 2-1 catches the outside edge, 2-2. The Scouts are 3-9 since that Richmond game, and it's just tough to think back and not think that was a momentum killer. The 2-2 fouled off behind the plate.
Yeah, and it has been a tough go since then, no questions asked. And there are reasons that you can put on it: the departure of Caleb Fernholz, the loss of Ben Beachy.
2-2. Ackerman takes curveball low, 3-2.
But at this point, it seems like it's been a tale of 3 seasons for the Scouts. There's the 2-6 start, and then there's the middle process where you get to 12-12.
3-2 pitch, fouled off down the first baseline.
And then there's everything since that Richmond game where you blow the lead in the 8th inning. And, this team certainly, this third part of the season team certainly looking a lot more like that first part of the season team than the team we saw in the middle.
The 3-2 pitch, low and away, ball 4. Ackerman walks for the first time today. He's on with 1 out.
Don't forget, folks, this team at one point won 9 of 12 games.
Started 2-6, won 9 of 12. Actually, 9 of 12 is correct. And once again, the record was up to 12-11 after starting 2-6. First pitch to Park, line foul, 0-1. Park on the day, 0 for 2. He did reach base on an error by the shortstop, Santiago. The switch hitter bats from the left side against Wes Rickenberg. But even after the loss to Richmond, as the 0-1 pitch from Rickenberg misses outside, 1-1, that was a turning point. The Scouts were able to keep it together just for a little bit. They kept going back and forth between 1 game under 500, 500, 1 game under 500, back to 500. 1-1 to Park, misses outside, 2-1. To get to 15-15 at the All-Star break.
Still very much in the race.
Only 2 games back of a playoff spot. The 2-1 misses low and in, 3-1. And ever since the All-Star break, again, here in the Great Lakes League, the All-Star break isn't like a halfway thing. It comes about 3/4 of the way through the year. So there's only 2 weeks of baseball left after the break. The 3-1 pitch. Off the outside corner, ball 4, 2 straight walks for the Scouts. Runners on first and second, 1 out here in the 8th, still trailing 7-2 with Lawtonville coming to the plate. And ever since that All-Star break, which was just this past week of baseball, the Scouts went 0-5 last week. And in a stretch where you played the Copperheads, who you were tied with for 3rd place, the Scouts and the Copperheads were both 2 games back of the last playoff spot in the Southern Division. The Copperheads get the sweep, and they've carried that momentum. They now have a playoff spot. First pitch to Lawtonville, outside corner, strike 1. The Scouts not only lose 3 to the Copperheads, they then lose 2 to the Jazz, who are in first place in the division. And they're 0-5 since the break. The 0-1 pitch, high, 1-1.
Yeah, if in following the sweep of the Copperheads, you're essentially out of it. The sweep by the Jazz just puts the fork in you. But it's tough, especially seeing the potential that this team had and how the Copperheads, who were in the same spot as us at that time.
1-1, lined into right field. Going back is the right fielder, McClelland. He'll make the grab just in front of the track. Ackerman moves to third. Runners on the corners, 2 down for the Scouts here in the 8th.
Just less than 1 week ago, like 5 days ago, the Copperheads and the Scouts both 15-15, and unfortunately, the Copperheads taking the sweep, and now they're in the driver's seat in a playoff spot ahead of the Cincinnati Steam, and it could have been us, but unfortunately, just a couple bad games, and in a short season, you can get out of it.
First pitch to Ondina, line drive, base hit, right field. Ackerman scores. Park goes from first to third, 7-3 Joes here in the 8th.
A good piece of hitting there by Francisco Ondina, and good for him. He had really struggled since the All-Star break. That's his first hit since the All-Star break, I believe.
First hit. This is the 6th game since the break. That's his first hit. He coming into tonight, Francisco Ondina was 0 for his last 20 at the plate. And he finally gets a hit here tonight. An RBI single in the 8th to make it 7-3 Joes with 2 down. First pitch to Ange Bourgeois, swung on and missed, 0-1. So you talk about the tale of polar opposites. The Scouts have lost 5 in a row. The Copperheads have won 5 in a row, including 2 against the Cincinnati Steam to throttle them out of a playoff spot. 0-1 to Bourgeois, catches the outside corner, 0-2. So the Steam, who have been in a playoff spot literally all year, finally fall out into 3rd place in the Southern Division with less than 10 games left. So they're in a little bit of trouble. The Scouts, once again, 5 games back of a spot with 6 left. The 0-2 to Bourgeois, swung on and missed, strike 3. Wes Rickenberg gets his first strikeout of the night. That'll do it for the Scouts. Here in the 8th inning, the Scouts strike once on 1 hit, and they trail 7-3 as we head to the 9th inning. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the 9th, a 7-3 Hamilton Joe lead over the Xenia Scouts. Mason Deanna, Ryan McClelland, and Riley Dent, the 8-9-1 hitters for the Joes. First pitch from Caden Owens, fouled off, 0-1. Owens back out for his 2nd inning of relief. Mason Deanna to the plate. Batting from the right side, he's 1 for 3 with a double tonight. The junior from Cincinnati, waiting the bat above his back shoulder, the 0-1 pitch. Inside, ball 1.
And this hasn't been textbook Caden Owens that we've seen here tonight. He's just been missing his spots a little bit. Don't know really what to attribute that to. Probably just late season fatigue, but the dominance just not there.
1-1 pitch from Owens. Curveball misses just high. 2-1.
But, still a chance he can get it back. We saw Caden Owens with a great outing back in the All-Star game, a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of punch-outs. Nominated for All-Star game MVP, actually.
The 2-1. Curveball misses low and in. 3-1 to Mason Deanna. And just a reminder, folks, please keep Joey Roddy in your prayers tonight. He got hit on the elbow earlier this evening. Still waiting. The 3-1 pitch is fouled off 3-2. Still waiting on word about Roddy. All we know is he was taken to the hospital after he got hit.
Currently being treated. They got some of the best people in the business looking at him right now, but just keep him in your prayers.
The 3-2 fouled off behind the plate will stay at a full count. Deanna, throughout this whole year that the Scouts have faced him, he's always been a fighter at the plate, staying alive in counts. The pitch from Owens. Low ball 4. Mason Deanna walks leadoff runner on here in the ninth.
And that's the third walk issued by Caden Owens here, and now just 2/3 of an inning pitched. Or check that. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Third walk.
Yeah. Owens just struggling a little bit here in the 8th and the 9th. Ryan McClellan, the batter now. He bats from the left side. He shows bunt, lays it down. Third base side. Ring picks it up, fires to first, 1 away. Deanna moves to second. A good sack bunt from Ryan McClellan. And that'll bring up the top of the order in Riley Dent for the Joes. Dent's 2 for 3 today. An RBI single in the 5th. A bunt single his last time up in the 8th. He bats from the left side. Owens sets the first pitch. Curveball misses low. 1-0.
Good job laying off that curveball, did Riley Dent. That was a really good Caden Owens curveball there. He did not bite.
Owens checks second. Now the pitch. Fastball outside corner, strike 1. Riley Dent's 2 hits tonight, his 5th multi-hit game of the season for the Joes. He had some success against the Scouts before. 5 for 20 with 5 walks. 1-1 pitch. Low below the knees, 2-1. So he came in 6 games against the Scouts batting .250. He'll raise that average a little. Already 2 for 3 with a walk tonight. Worst he can do is go 2 for 4.
Not bad.
The 2-1 pitch. Just off the outside corner, 3-1.
It's a little out-of-town scoreboard action as quickly as I can. The Jazz beat the Steam 3-0 in the first game of the doubleheader. In the second game of the doubleheader, the Steam won 7-1. The Copperheads currently, well, actually, that game just went final, a 3-2 loss to the Grand Lake Mariners.
3-1 pitch. Fastball, grounded left side. Takis picks it up. Fires to first, 2 away here in the 9th.
So that I guess nothing really changes then with the Copperheads dropping 1, the Steam and the Jazz splitting. I guess it puts the Copperheads a half game behind where they would have been coming into the day with a loss, and then both teams picking up a win and a loss.
See, the thing is, the Copperheads are only playing 41 games as Genesis Hillard steps to the plate. First pitch, curveball, strike 1. The Steam and the Jazz are playing 42. They never got canceled.
Well, who canceled on the Copperheads, or who did the Copperheads cancel on? Lorain County.
Yes, it was a Central Division team as Hillard fouls one off behind the plate, 0-2. I believe, I forget who the Copperheads.
No, but yeah, it was Lorain County. I remember hearing the story. they just refuse to play the game or something like that?
The 0-2 pitch. Curveball. Hillard checked his swing. He went around. Caden Owens gets his first strikeout of the night. So after a leadoff walk, Owens doesn't allow a run in the ninth inning. The Scouts trail 7-3 heading to the bottom half of the ninth inning. You're listening to Scouts Baseball on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network.
Now batting, number 15,
The Scouts trail the Joes 7-3 as we head to the bottom of the ninth here at Grady's Field. Aaron Takis, Jordan Lambert, and Kyle Casserly, the 2-3-4 hitters, due up in the ninth for the Scouts. Frank Dixon on to close it out for the Joes, even though this is not a save situation. Dixon, who was playing first base most of the night, is listed as a pitcher for the Joes. He will face Aaron Takis first, the first pitch. Fastball high and away, 1-0.
And Frank Dixon on the year, he's pitched 26 innings, a 7.26 ERA, and 8 appearances. 4 of them were starts. He has picked up, he's actually yet to pick up a save this year.
The 1-0 swung on and missed, 1-1 to Aaron Takis.
Opponents bat .261 against Frank Dixon. He has a whip of 2.04. He's walked 29 and struck out 15.
The 1-1 pitch. Curveball way high, 2-1. And those 29 walks is second most in the Great Lakes League.
Yeah, let's say that's a strikingly high number of free passes allowed, but a hard thrower just struggles to find the zone.
2-1 from Dixon. Fastball swung on and missed, 2-2. Takis is 1 for 2 with 2 walks tonight. The on-base percentage continues to go up for Aaron Takis, who's been on fire as of late. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses outside. 3-2 to the lefty Takis.
If you're the Scouts hitters, you have to be patient here if you want a chance to bring yourself back into this contest.
The 3-2 pitch. Fastball below the knees, ball 4. Aaron Takis walks for the 3rd time tonight. He reaches base for the 4th time, and that'll bring up Jordan Lambert.
And that is 30 walks on the season now for Frank Dixon.
Aaron Takis has now reached base after tonight in 24 of 29 games played for the Scouts. Dixon sets. First pitch to Lambert. Fastball popped up left field. The left fielder Turner coming in toward the line. He makes the grab, one away.
And I would probably suggest being a little bit more patient than that. This guy's not throwing strikes all the time. Like you said, 29 walks and now 30 walks. Really, especially on first pitch, you might want to hold off unless you really see something you like.
And in steps Kyle Casterly, who has done the damage tonight for the Scouts. 2 of the 3 runs on a 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning by Kyle Casterly. Tied the game at 2 at the time. First pitch to Cass. Curveball outside corner, strike 1. Frank Dixon, a lefty on the mound. The 6-foot lefty from Arizona State did not play with the Sun Devils this past year. The 0-1. Another curveball shot down the first base line. Dixon's going to field it. Flip to first for the out. Takis moves to second. 2 away here in the 9th.
And ultimately an impressive job fielding his position by Frank Dixon. Even though that was a ground ball off the bat of Casterly, by no means was it routine. And Dixon had to work quickly off the mound to get there and then shovel it over to first. But now the Scouts down to their final out of this contest. And barring some big-time comeback, it's going to be 6 losses in a row.
Donald Ring to the plate. He bats from the left side. So they bring the lefty Frank Dixon in as he sets in the first pitch to Donald Ring. Curveball catches the outside corner for strike 1. And the lefty Dixon faces 4 straight lefties for the Scouts and Takis, Lambert, Casterly, and Ring. The 0-1 pitch. Another curveball, line drive, left field, base hit. Takis rounding third. He will hold up as that ball was hit hard right to Trey Turner in left. Runners on the corners, 2 down for the Scouts here in the 9th.
Good piece of hitting there by Donald Ring, going the other way with it. The hopes are still alive.
Ring has now reached base in 17 of his last 18 games for the Xenia Scouts. And that'll bring up Chris Ackerman for the Scouts. He's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight.
And if Ackerman can get on here, if he can extend this game and bring Ryan Park to the plate, that changes the dynamic.
Dixon sets the first righty he has faced all night. The pitch, high and outside, ball 1. So Frank Dixon comes in to close out this game for the Joes. He faces 4 straight lefties. And now Chris Ackerman bats from the right side. Came into tonight only batting a $197. The 1-0. Fastball outside corner, strike 1. Ackerman has struggled to say the least in his last 7 games. 1 for 23 with 5 walks in his past 7 coming into tonight. The 1-1 pitch, way outside, 2-1 to Ackerman. Ackerman, the designated hitter tonight for the Scouts. 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th. Scouts trail the Joes 7-3. Runners on the corners. A 2-1 count to Chris Ackerman. Now the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. 2-2.
May have swung at a ball there. That fastball a little bit on the upper outside. So now the Scouts down to their final strike. And the guy who strikes out a lot, and Chris Ackerman at the plate.
Ackerman, 35 strikeouts on the year, is 3rd most in the league. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Frank Dixon does his job in the 9th for the Joes. Ackerman goes down swinging, and that'll do it for tonight's ball game. The Joes beat the Scouts 7-3. Final.
Well, it's been tough. It's been tough of recently, and I think that Zach Wallace did an admirable job out there. He kept the team in the game for a while, but unfortunately, the wheels kind of just coming off, and it's hard to. There have been some games because, like we said previously, now 6 straight losses for the Scouts, and there have been some games over this stretch where you look back and you replay things in your head, and you're like, oh well, if we had gotten that a different way, then yeah, the result would have been different. And there were a couple moments in this game as well. You leave the bases loaded in the first inning. You leave the bases loaded in the second inning, or in the 6th inning, I should say. Both of those times, you have the bases loaded with less than 2 outs, and you can't get it done. And suddenly, when they start to rally a little bit late in the ball game and you can't get anything going, when you look back to those moments and you say, well, we could have had a little bit of insurance. You could have had some more runs on the board, but you're not going to win a ton of ball games by putting up 3 runs. And that has been really the most the Scouts have been able to come up with in the majority of games this season.
Yeah, the Scouts, as you mentioned, have now lost 6 in a row. After the All-Star break, only 2 games back of a playoff spot, and now the Scouts are mathematically eliminated with 5 games to go in this 2017 season. Zach Wallace falls to 0-4, but as you mentioned, he pitched well. 7 1/3 innings pitched. He does give up 6 earned runs, 9 hits, but those 6 earned runs came very sporadically throughout the game. As you mentioned, the Scouts had plenty of opportunities to take the lead, and Zach Wallace pitching with the lead would have been much better than pitching behind or in a tie ball game. To give you the final numbers, the Scouts 3 runs on 7 hits, 10 runners left on base for Xenia, including the bases loaded twice with only 1 out. The Joes 7 runs on 9 hits. They only leave 4 on base. Wallace 7 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. The starting pitcher Matthew Zabo gets the win for the Hamilton Joes. He improves to 4-1, now 2-0 against the Xenia Scouts. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts for Matthew Zabo. And that will do it for the Scouts tonight. Back in action tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch against the Hamilton Joes here at Grady's Field. The Scouts are home tomorrow, home Thursday, away Friday, Saturday, back at home to close out the season Sunday. So 3 more home games if you can. Come watch the Scouts at home.
And my final thoughts on this one, keep Joey Roddy. And your final thoughts and prayers tonight is we don't really know what is going on with him so far and going in for x-rays. Hopefully all will be well for the very charismatic, great guy, Joey Roddy, the enthusiastic third baseman from Ohio State. We're hoping that his season is not over after tonight.
100%. Definitely will be praying for Joey Roddy. You couldn't have said it better yourself, my friend. Joey Roddy, just an excellent guy, and you really feel for him with an injury. He loves playing baseball and loved being out here with these guys. Hopefully tonight was not the last time. For Andrew Alix, I'm Gabe Genovesi. 7-3, Hamilton Joes defeat the Xenia Scouts. We will talk to you tomorrow night at 7:05. Thank you for listening.